And then as we get into it, we have our modelers talk directly with the art department to make sure that, just so we understand this is this and how does this work and how does this relate to this. Because, fortunately for me, one of the guys that was sort of instrumental in working on the model in my team is a huge Star Trek fan, and knows probably about as much as anybody I have. And so having his knowledge has been invaluable because he's able to go and talk to them and say, okay, this particular thing, why does this look the way that it does? Where is this from? And they had a lot of interaction directly with the art department, but having him was really, really helpful.
VFX shots. Like, are you up to version 5?
Oh no, I had 146 was the highest this season.
146.
Yeah. That's high even for me. I was actually, when I saw it at the bottom, I felt really bad for the vendor. But
was that the run to the other ship? Not the Shenzhou, the Mirror Universe ship.
The Charon. No, it wasn't. I don't. You know what's funny is that I don't think it was like you'd think it was one of those big scopy shots.
Right.
And I think it might have been like a monitor comp, and I don't remember why. I think we just had to. We kept changing out graphics or whatever. But yeah, I think we had 146 versions.
How many shots per second do you normally get per episode?
It varies. It varies a lot. I can say for the season it was something like 5,000, 4,800. So basically a feature film.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of the ambition here, though, right? Is kind of to bring a feature film texture to the production, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely about having high-end visual effects, and ultimately, the good thing about Aaron Gretchen and Alex and Akiva and everybody is that it's about what the story is. So if the story is 10 visual effects shots in an episode, then that's what it's going to be. But if it's 500, that's what it's going to be. It's we don't drive the story, but we help it out. And so I think looking at it from that paradigm is nice because number one, you're not locked into a certain way of thinking, and then number two, we get a breather every once in a while. So,
has there ever been a time when you've had to say no because of time constraints or budget constraints? It's something that the writers have wanted.
No, I think it's like anything. It's a conversation. You know what I mean? It's never a no. It's just talking with everybody to see what they want and how much time we have, and then going from there.
Is there a particular
I'm proud of a lot on the show. I think there's a lot of stuff that I think looks good. I love episode 1 with her flying to the artifact. Just that whole sequence. There's some really fun shots in there. I love Vulcan in episode 6. We were really, really proud of that. There's a lot of little cool details that we put into that short sequence, which was really, really a blast to do. Episode 10, Jonathan Frakes, he had some great stuff. And then 15, the Enterprise. We get to do the Enterprise, so it's that moment where I was just like, okay, I'm done. I can retire now, so.
Well, what's something you didn't initially know how to pull off, but it turned out great? Something we struggled with?
I don't know. I wouldn't say we struggle with it. It's just always talking about the best way to shoot something. I mean, when you shoot, for instance, gravity or no gravity, 0G, that's easier said than done sometimes, right? Because you're talking about wire work, and wires have gravity, right? So it's trying to figure out a way to shoot that, and trying to figure out a way to do it in a way that's believable, especially because it's been done really well. I mean, like the movie Gravity, for instance, did a really good job with not having gravity, and so I think it's really it's the process of working with the DPs, with the director, with everybody, just trying to figure out the best way to achieve what the story is.
What's kind of the typical episode process for you on your end?
It starts with, obviously, we'll get a script and we'll go through it, and we'll probably have a lot of questions at that point. We'll have meeting with the department heads and with Aaron and Gretchen and Keith and everybody to sort of talk about what they're thinking, what the ambitions are for the show, what needs to be visual effects, what doesn't need to be visual effects. And then, off of that, we'll start building our assets and start putting together a shot list and start preparing the vendors to get to work on the stuff, and then we'll shoot it. And then once we get an edit together, we'll start to actually put the visual effects into the edit to see, and it evolves greatly. I mean, it starts with, sometimes it's just a title card that says ship flies here, and at the end it's the Enterprise and the Discovery facing each other. So it's
kind of the last end of the process.
Yeah. We're definitely. I mean, we're in it along the way, but I would say it crescendos as the episode gets closer to finale, because then sound effects need to know what our visual effects look like, because they need to know when, if I drop something, they need to know when to put the bang. you know, from that to the editors have to know what the shots are going to be. So if it's a full CG shot, we have to get them something so they can react to it. There's time to sort of go through the process of does the shot tell the story, does it not tell the story. So